Hi there, you're with Simon here at English Coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about a great book called The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles. Now, this book is fantastic, and I'd like to talk about why. One of the main reoccurring ideas in this book is that despite all of the things that you see wrong in your society, in your world, with yourself, with your peers, with your current state, with your current financial state, with your current relationship state, with whatever it is that you're doing, you need to turn around and believe in your heart that everything is all right, that everything is completely fine, even though your mind is telling you and showing you evidence that it is not fine. And why is that? Well, I don't know if you've ever heard the idiom, there's no such thing as perfection. And I think probably there's about 20 different other idioms that are connected to that. Like journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. How can I compare that to there's no such thing as perfection? That you will not just make thousands of mistakes, but progress towards all of your goals should be slow. It should be slow, and you should be able to acknowledge that it's going to be slow and that it's not going to be easy for you to attain everything. And as long as you love and accept that fact, the journey becomes easier and potentially faster. This is the secret that they're talking about in the science of being great. Now, it's not the only reason why I love this book. There's also the whole reason of being true to yourself and wanting your ambitions through a wholesome perspective and not just a perspective based on personal gain. And this has been something that I've been learning over 2 years. It's been really difficult for me because I've always associated having money with success, and it's more complicated than that. Money is a sign of success. Money is important, and it's actually neutral. It's just a tool. But having a mental or emotional necessity to earn more and more money each month is not actually doing you any good. It comes from another part of the ambition. And growing and earning money and earning more money in the future is fantastic, but having the necessity is where you're coming up against another small defect, something that goes further off the path toward wanting control, wanting power, and things like this, which at the outset are not so bad, but can turn into things that can transform you into a person that you may not know that you will become. Going from someone like Bill Gates, who wants to, use his billions and billions and billions in net worth to cure diseases and create, wealth in countries where there just isn't any. And then you might go from that kind of person when you're earning more and more each month because of your contribution, your servitude to others, to people in need, and also your dedication to your business and your ambition. You're going really good, but then you start becoming perhaps more and more obsessed with the money side of it. and with the power side of it, and you turn into someone like Trump, who is not inherently evil like a lot of people think he is. Trump's only problem is he's limited. He's limited by his perception that power is everything. So he can't really see beyond that. He's not actually a bad guy. I think he does, a few good things, but he's a little unscrupulous, and he does a few things that really prove that, he's after the power. And that's fine. I don't think any of us should judge him for that. I think he's also in a difficult position as well. And I know a lot of you are probably watching this video and disagreeing with everything that I'm saying right now. But I'd like you to just to reflect on judging others. And this comes out of this book, The Science of Being Great. Judging others is also a fast track to failure. When we have more time for others, be they greedy or generous, rude or polite, anything, any type of person, when you put down your judgment, you win straight away. As soon as you stop judging, you win. And this is the science of being great as well. So it's really about coming back down to earth a little bit, accepting everything that's going on in your life, even if it's not great, and also accepting things that are out of your hands, like the economy. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? Accept the things that are out of your hands. But it's really not. I think there's this assumption that we can control everything when we can control just our immediate lives, and when we control this in a positive way by firstly accepting what is happening and firstly accepting where we are, we make it possible to create other paths in our lives. And this is one of the main ideas of the book, The Science of Being Great. We create other paths for ourselves in life by accepting everything the way it is, and by accepting where we are in the evolutionary timeline. And a lot of people say, well, there's still world hunger. There's still like 300 million people starving in the world. There's still small wars. And there's still like these tragedies where someone gets their hands on a bunch of automatic weapons and goes and wipes out a whole group of people, a group of religious or ethnic people for their own personal idealistic values. And we are all having trouble, I guess, to look at the evolutionary timeline and see that we are still going forward despite those things. We are getting wrapped up in the news. We turn on the news and we're saying, yeah, that's right. The world is cursed, or the world is damned. And that is exactly the opposite direction. And that is the most farthest you can go from being empowered. That's as far as you can go away from being empowered and being in control of your life, is by believing that the world you live in is cursed, or the world that you live in has problems that can never be solved. That's actually a negative affirmation. You're saying that you're part of that negative world, and that in some way you're contributing to that. So how could you ever have success if that is your belief? If you believe in something like that. So today I wanted to bring you to this realization that where we are in the evolutionary timeline is just fine for where we are. If you go back 50 years, 60 years, and you see some of the problems in the world back then and measure the gravity, a lot of them were more extreme than now. It's the same if we go to World War II, or even the Vietnam and the Korean War. The amount of people that died in those conflicts. And as you come to the present, less people are dying in war, less people are dying from disease, So we are actually making headway. But people are not interested in this kind of information or these statistics anymore. They're interested in what comes in terms of emotions and feelings that they get from social media. And that's fine as well. But it's not going to get you the fast track to where you want to go in your life. I think the most liberating idea is that you can accept absolutely everyone and everything that's happening in your life right now. And I really encourage you to take this idea from the book. And if you have the courage, get the book or the audio book and go through the whole thing. It's really, really valuable. Can eliminate at least a lot of your negativity from your life and put you on a track that's more solid and definitely more guaranteed to take you somewhere positive where you really want to go. Okay? And sometimes you'll have to play the game. And the game is, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Because talking about the negative facts that did happen will make you right. You will be right. You will be able to prove other people wrong and try to say that the world is a negative place. But just remember that good news doesn't sell. Okay? What sells is bad news and conspiracies. Okay? So have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed English Coach today. If you're watching at night, have a wonderful night. I hope you like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time on my channel.